All right, class, this is the last one. We'll knock this passage out. It's very short, and then I'm just going to tell you what the final exam is going to be like. So, let's look at the passage. We're looking at these futures right here, and we'll just start here with alii as the subject. Others will hammer out excudent. Mark that for you. Excudent, it's a future. That root kud, which becomes kus in the fourth principal part, we get the word concussion from it. It means you've been, struck in the head. And so excudent would be hammer out is the easiest way to translate it. So others hammer out breathing, or you might say lifelike bronze, comparative, more delicately. I believe this, I'm sure. And quidem here is like, it's just adding emphasis to the credo. I'm sure, yes, I'm sure. That's an adverb. So others will hammer out lifelike bronze more delicately. Yes, I'm sure. They will lead, draw out, living faces. That's a fourth declension accusative plural. They will draw out living faces from marble. They will proclaim, orate, you might say, argue with speech. They will orate cases better. That's a comparative adverb. They will describe the courses of the heaven with a radius, and they will predict the rising stars. I'm just going to say predict for this. I'm using the wrong instrument. They will predict the rising stars. So there's others, and the others that we're talking about are the Greeks. So the Greeks are going to be better at hammering out bronze with more skill and delicacy to make lifelike statues. I'm sure of that. They will draw out living countenances from marble. They will orate cases better. They will describe the movements of the heavens with a radius, and they will foretell the rising stars. In other words, they'll know the movements of the constellations. The Greeks are going to have all these achievements. This is true. You, Roman, and you see the word, the vocative here, referring to Aeneas, you, Roman, and it's referring to Aeneas, but it's like Anchises has turned to any Roman that might be reading or hearing this. You, Roman, Memento, this is an imperative. Just get used to the form. You don't need to memorize where it came from. It's an old archaic form. Just, it's the imperative. Just like we have the phrase memento mori. Remember that you die. Memento mori. Okay, so here it is. Memento, it takes the infinitive after it. Memento regere. Remember to rule peoples with power. These will be your arts. That's a dative of possession. These will be your arts. All right, they're going to be better at figuring out scientific stuff and art and speech, but you're going to know how to organize the world. So you remember to rule people with power, Roman. These will be your arts. And to impose morum, which comes from mos. If I can write it here, mos. Now, mos is, we're used to the plural, mores, right? Customs, habits, whatever. Mos in the singular is like civilized behavior, a civilized way of being. And your book has pakis here with the genitive, but here and in most texts you get the dative, paki, to impose civilization on peace. So you're going to control the world with force, but you're also going to administer it by creating an orderly, peaceful society. So you impose the mores, the mos, onto peace. You impose civilized behavior onto peace. Remember to spare your subjects. That's a dative. I just put a line over it, don't know why, but this is a verb that takes the dative. Remember to spare your subjects. Be merciful, right? Roman, be merciful. And de bellara, you see the bell there, which has to do with fighting, and to beat down superbos, the proud. Okay, these are famous lines from the Aeneid. This is what Aeneas came for. He sees future Rome. He sees the people that are coming. It gives him new momentum. It encourages him. But then comes this prophetic outburst from Anchises. Some are going to be better at these things than you are. But what are you good at, Rome? And why are you coming into the world? You have your own contribution to make. You remember to rule the people with power. These are going to be your arts. To impose civilization on peace. To spare your subjects. And to beat down the proud. All right. So that is the famous prophecy of what that it's. You know what's interesting about it so much is that the Romans are saying we have a national character. The Greeks had a national character. They're a certain way. They're good at certain things, but we are a certain way, and that's administrating the world. Right? Alexander the Great conquered the world but couldn't really administer it, and it got all divided up between his generals, and it was a mess, really. But the Romans are going to show the world how it's done. Create an empire which they rule from Rome, and they do so efficiently. Okay. Having said all of that, what do I want you to do for your final exam? Since we're not going to be able to meet in the classroom, here's what I want you to do. By the end of the day on Monday, April 27th is when our final exam is. I want you to finish translating book 6. It's lines 854, starting with Sic Pater and going all the way to line 901. But what I want you to do is to analyze it the way that we've been doing it, the way that you practiced in class, the way that you've been seeing me do it. Here, underlining your subjects, boxes around your accusatives, marking off prepositional phrases and all that kind of stuff. Give me a translation and make at least 10 comments on artistic things that you observe or interesting things, sort of like your journal, but I want you to just give me a list. No, don't have to write it out like a journal, but just a list of 10 interesting observations on the text, but I want them to have to do with the art that you see here. The way that Aeneid, Virgil manipulates the language, rhetorical devices, poetic devices, those sorts of things, bracketing, anything you see Virgil doing to create the effect that he is after. So, lines 854 to 901, give me a translation, give me an analysis of the passage with all the underlining and boxes, and give me 10 observations. You send that to me by midnight on Monday, and you will be done with the class. So good luck on this project, and it's better than studying all weekend for a test. It's just finishing off the book 6 for us. So I look forward to your journal on this short passage. It can be a real short journal, just a couple of sentences, and then jump on this final exam. And have a good summer and stay away from the virus. And I hope you all find work or volunteer stuff. And I will see most of you back in the fall.